Hey, good morning, everyone. So the time of year now is when we think about the end, the last things. And this weekend is also Vocation Awareness Weekend. So we want to encourage young men and women in our parish to think about priesthood, religious life, and the diaconate. Okay, we're going to say a prayer at the end of Mass. Don't let me forget. There's a thing on the altar to remind me. We're just going to say a prayer for vocations. But I can tell you my vocation story, but I just want to do something different. You know, I've done that before, and the mysterious nature of the call to the priesthood, as I've experienced it, it was, at a young age, something drawing you. It's unshakable. And it may ebb and flow, but it comes back, it comes back, it comes back. Stronger each time. That's what I experienced. But ultimately, I just find life down here unsatisfying. We can never totally get comfortable down here. The bed's always too short. The covers are always too narrow to fully wrap oneself up in down here, according to the prophet Isaiah. I love that. So we're not meant for this world, okay? We're sojourners, we're pilgrims, we know that. We'll never be really satisfied. Nothing will hit the spot, scratch the itch, like Psalm 63 today. We're thirsting. We're pining for something beyond this world, for the end. What is our end? God. To be in God. To be in a state where God, our Creator, the beginning and the end, is all in all. That's the only thing that's going to do it for us. Now, why am I a priest? What keeps me in the game? What keeps me wearing that white tongue depressor thing stuck in my collar? For 20 years, I've been hanging in there. I'm hanging in, folks. And I'm not going to get shaken off. Okay, I'm in to the end. That's my firm resolve to make it to the finish line. As all of us, we want to just make it to the end. Okay, so how do we get to the end? Well, we keep our eyes fixed on the end. That's what you got to do if you want to accomplish something in life. You got goals. You got some dream or ambition you're striving for, some end. Okay. What do you do first? You first conceive the end in your mind, the goal, the purpose. The end comes first in the order of intention. You form an intention. I want to get there. From point A to point B. Before you even start moving your legs from point A to point B, you're already thinking. You conceive B in your mind. I want to get there. And you keep that in your mind as you're struggling along from A to B. All right, it's like that with anything. This is common sense. So I want to talk about the end, because that's what this time of year we reflect on, the final things, the last things. The end of our being, the meaning of our being in existence is in that end. What's at the end? What are we striving for? What's our goal? Let's quote St. Thomas Aquinas, why don't we? He says regarding the wise man, we heard from the book of wisdom today, okay? Let's try to distill what is the nature of wisdom. Here's at least one way to define it. St. Thomas Aquinas quotes the philosopher Aristotle, and he says this: hence, among other things that men have conceived about the wise man, there's a lot we could say, but Aristotle includes this notion. Aristotle says that it belongs to the wise man to order. What is the essence of wisdom? It is a person whose life is ordered properly. Ordered to the proper end. Our end is God, eternal life. These wise and prudent virgins, why are they wise and prudent? Because they thought about the end. They conceived this intention long before the bridegroom ever came. They began to store up wine in their lamps. They persevered through this life, regardless of whether many people thought they were foolish. They were supremely wise the whole time. So the wise man orders And the order for all things is directed to an end. St. Thomas says that, it's the first in the order of intention, even if it's the last in the order of execution. Yes, they finally greeted the bridegroom and went into the wedding feast at the end of the parable there. But they had already planned and prepared long before when they began the journey. They formed that intention that I want to be ready, I want to be prepared. That's my goal, my purpose, my end. So I'm going to strive. It's like any athlete, for crying out loud. Athletes want to get a gold medal at the Olympics. What do when they get up at 4 in the morning and everything in them is crying out, "No, don't do this to me." The flesh is crying out in rebellion against them, and they get up anyway. And they feel the magnetic gravitational pull of their bed. They want to climb back onto the covers. But they conceive the end. I want that gold medal. I want that gold medal. And maybe they put something on the bathroom mirror, stickies, and pictures, things that remind them of the end of what they're striving for. This gives them the endurance. That's the wise man. You have to conceive a clear intention. The wise man orders according to the end. The name of the absolutely wise man, however, is reserved for him whose consideration is directed to the end of the universe. The supremely wise person. That is why, according to Aristotle, it belongs to the wise man to consider the highest causes and the highest ends. We want to be supremely wise. So I tell you, you get that gold medal, there's a letdown. It's not going to do it for you. Whether you win the Super Bowl or the NBA championship or the World Series or the Stanley Cup, it doesn't matter. You get it, and then you're like, womp, womp, womp. That's it? That's it? Now what? It's just not going to do it. Nothing's going to do it for us down here. Scratch that itch except God, the ultimate end. So the supremely wise man, that's what he's concerned with primarily. So all of us need to be concerned with that. Jesus is the end. It says in the book of Revelation, I'm the Alpha and the Omega. I'm the beginning and the end. For all of you to be with the Lord, St. Paul says, forever. That's what we're striving towards. Now, I'm telling you, is when you pull out of that driveway on Sunday morning, when you go out to the car or cars, maybe it takes multiple cars to get your whole family here. As it did with our family, we had to have 2 cars Sunday morning. Hey, that's a witness. A witness to everybody in your neighborhood. Man, it was a 3-ring circus in our house on Sunday morning. Cats, dogs, rabbits running around. 2 bathrooms, 7 kids, 2 cars. We always went to the last mass because that's the best we could do. A new parish started across town and they had a mass a half an hour later. So we switched parishes to buy an extra half an hour. All right, I don't know how some of the big families are getting here for the 9 a.m. That's a miracle of discipline. That's a witness, man. We are witnesses, and we are aiming towards our end. We're living. We don't hear about the prior life of these prudent virgins. But they went against the grain. They strove against the mighty headwind each and every day to get that oil in their lamp. And others looked at them, thought, man, they're foolish. And they were wise the whole time. There's a majority of people probably, think that what we're doing is a waste of time, is sheer folly and nonsense. Those people, they believe that carpenter from Nazareth in Galilee was the Son of God. They're going out to get their paper and they're watching you guys pull out of the driveway. And all of us, I'm telling you, we're up against a mighty headwind. It's like trying to keep something warm in the refrigerator, keep our faith in today's world, okay? But, it appeals to that spirit of the rebel in all of us. certain defiance. It's the flip side of faith. Fides et de fides, defiance. It's the flip side of faith. We defy the spirit of the world, the flesh, and the devil that oppose us each and every day of our lives. So this is, to me, something satisfying about being a priest, to relate all this to the vocation of the priesthood or religious life. We are pointing to the end above all. Walking around in today's world, we remind people of the end. When people see that collar, when people see that religious habit, our wonderful Palatine sisters are such a blessing to our community. When you see that habit, you're immediately reminded of the end. When people drive around and see this steeple, any church steeple, at our steeple, this is the high point of Laurel, I'm pretty sure, where this church was built on. Somebody find that out for me. And our steeple is probably the high point, got to check on that, of all of Laurel, pointing to everyone in Laurel and everywhere. That's what our lives should be. And that's what attracts me to the priesthood. I'm attracted to the end. My soul is thirsting for God. I want to help other people find the end, what is truly satisfying, what is ordered to our greatest happiness and human fulfillment. That is supreme wisdom. So order our lives towards that end, towards God and eternal life.